Alrighty, so I have been asked by a couple of my friends to do a wounds tutorial, because I make a lot of wounds. First things with wound design, you want to have a lot of reference pictures. Cool. So what I'm going to do today though is I'm using an open wound reference from a dog actually, and so it's this big huge open wound on its neck, and that has a whole bunch of like scabby stuff over open sore, a lot of fatty tissue showing, so it'll be very colorful. So I'm probably gonna like consume my cheek here, so I'll probably voice over later. Welcome to my first wound tutorial. Woo! Here you see my first step, which is just taking a lip liner or eyeliner pencil and sketching out the basic layout for my wound. I was just kind of figuring where I wanted scabby tissue to be at the time. So then you grab next step, spirit gum, and you apply that around any area where you're going to have prosthetic material actually attached to your skin. I use nose wax, but there's all kinds of different things you can use. So the next thing is to grab some petroleum jelly, which is going to help you with the scar and nose wax. Put it on your fingers. I put it on my spatula as well. Nose wax gets very, very sticky when it warms up, and so it can be a bit of a pain. You want to make sure that you tack along your spirit gum so that it gets nice and sticky to hold on your nose wax. Very important. Don't want it falling off. I actually had that happen before, where the edges start falling off after I've worn it for a couple hours. Not nice. So once you put it on your face, I use my little spatula here to smooth the edges and basically actually start sculpting it. This is very much a piece of art on my face. It's just a grotesque one. I have heard people using sculpting tools, like little clay sculpting tools. They're much smaller, greater precision. I don't have them. So I time skipped here to a bit later in the process. Really, there's nothing exciting to see except for the fact that, you know, you're sculpting and sculpting and sculpting. It's just a process of, do I like it yet? No, keep sculpting. So when you're done, your hands are going to be horrifically sticky and pretty nasty from all the Vaseline as well. So I recommend using like a baby wipe or a Clorox wipe to get all of that off your hands. I smooth up the last little section there, and of course then I have to clean my hands again. But you have to make sure you like it, because if you don't like it now, you won't like it later. So next you do liquid latex. I have mine in a flesh tone. Instead of clear, I tend to like the flesh tone, but you can use either one interchangeably, really. Go through, try to do a nice even coat, not too thick because that'll take a really, really long time to dry. Not too thin or you'll have to do a lot of coats. I do 2 coats for this prosthetic here, but I was sort of a bit time crunched because I needed to actually go to sleep eventually. I've had prosthetics when I really, really want to make sure that they're going to be good. I'll do 3 or 4 coats, easy. And you have to coat it with the liquid latex because nose wax, also known as scar wax, does not harden. So here the liquid latex is hardened, and I have 2 layers, and I'm cleaning out an area in the center because I'm using rigid collodion to actually change the shape of my face. Rigid collodion actually grabs skin, and as it dries, it contracts and pulls in. It's great for scars. It's great for like wounds. You can actually use it in a lot of different applications. You can kind of see it here, but it actually is literally pulling my face in and creating this very gaunt look, which was great, and you know, made really, really great dimensionality for my prosthetic here. And it works very, very quickly. I have all of this sped up, but it took maybe a minute and a half in between times for it to dry, with just getting some air going over it. Just using some setting powder, also known as translucent powder here, and that just helps transition between my makeups and the actual prosthetic. So this is just my basic foundation color, just trying to even everything out. My cheeks have a tendency to get nice and rosy, which doesn't work when you have a whole bunch of, blood pouring out the other side of your face, giving you blood loss, right? No, not believable. So you try to get that everywhere. If I was doing this for an event, I would have spent even more time trying to make sure the rest of my face looked good too. But this was really just for this tutorial. It was kind of sad. Finish it at 2 a.m. in the morning and just take it off. So I tend to use about 4 colors. This is my yellow. It's a little bit of a dirty mustard color. I also have a red, which I'm putting on now. It's a little bit deeper of a red. I was trying to blend them to look almost orange because that's the color that fatty tissue most often resembles. It's that and actually yellow, really interesting. If you get a chance, look up fatty tissue and just open wounds. They're really interesting. So after that, I grab my purple, and I just go in and start adding more and more depth to my wounds. Right here, you can just kind of see shadowing areas that I want to look deeper or that would naturally be shadowed by lighting. So right under lips of wounds, down in crevices. This is the black that I was using to make the sort of scabby tissue around my wound. It makes a huge difference, as you can see here. And then I didn't quite like how that looked, though, the direct transition. So I go back in with my purple on the outside of the black, and I just slowly start mixing it with my skin tone. Then I take the red, and I do a layer over that, and then eventually I'll actually use my yellow. And it's all about just getting a look that you like. I wanted it to blend back out into my face, so it looked like this was really a degeneracy problem, that it's slowly infecting my whole face. And then as you can see here, I take my foundation color and I just went back a little bit just to soften up some of the edges. I like to take Vaseline and go back into my wounds, and it makes it look wet all the time, which is really helpful because sometimes they wanna look too dry with cream makeups. So then you go in and you start using your bloods. That's a stippling brush, also known as a stippling sponge. It's absolutely phenomenal for doing splatter effects. I highly recommend getting one. They're really simple. I mean, you can do a similar technique with wadded up toilet paper or paper towel, but stippling brushes are just made for this. So then I'm going in with a couple different things here, a very thick blood starting here. It's just adding a little bit older look of blood to it, and it also doesn't run as much as the others. Cleaning up, it's pretty much everything. I got blood everywhere working on this. It kept dripping too. So then, just giving you a quick tour here, the lighting in my bathroom is terrible, but thankfully my camera does a much better job than my cell phone. My cell phone pictures, their colors were terribly warped. Oh, so scary here. Yeah, I know, it's kind of dorky, but the effect is great. If I had full effect lighting too, that'd be really fun, but just kind of working with what I had. But yeah, that's the basics of how I do a wound. If you guys have any requests, let me know, and I'll try to do another one for you. Bye.